not only elected officials and city departments, but other nonprofit agencies, other for-profit businesses, and just having strong established relationships of, you know, mutual respect. And that's very important to be taken seriously. And we should continue discussion, and while if anyone has continued discussion, I would also like to, it looks like Lee's thinking maybe we'll do secret ballot instead of hands. We've always done just open hands, but I think you definitely have a sensitive idea there. But let's have any more discussion about the vote, and then we can talk about how the vote would work.
Is there something in the bylaws that said it has to be a secret ballot? I'm just
No.
wondering.
I
So
think-
it was just a decision that you made?
I think it was a proposal that he was going
Oh,
to, it was something he was
No,
going
I'm
to
just
suggest.
asking
I like
about.
He likes-
Don't forget that also, we're taking the, with,
Is it related to the video? I just have to ask, is that,
I'm just curious. I mean,
yeah.
I don't.
'Cause I have my
usually
concern about
in
that
order for people
too,
raise their hands,
with the fact
so-
that
Yeah.
we're being videotaped.
so everybody's gonna see who I vote for?
I think it was,
Yeah.
I think it was just being sensitive. I think it was
Oh,
just being
okay.
sensitive and considerate. I don't think there's any paranoia or any concern. I
Oh,
think it
okay.
was just,
So the proposal's on the
Sensitivity.
table to do a secret
Yes.
ballot versus hands, right? Is that what the proposal is? Is that what
Sure,
it is?
I'd like to make a motion that we vote by secret ballot.
Second,
Warren expressed concern about that. So any discussion beyond what we just had?
Well, yes, I would like to say that I completely hear what you're saying about having a partnership with the city and nurturing an ongoing synergistic relationship with the city.
I didn't use that word, actually. I don't.
I
use that
did.
word, yeah.
But that's the spirit. We want to have a partnership with the city and with nonprofits and whatnot. But I also think that there needs to be a checks and balances, and that this is a community organization, and there needs to be an element in this group that holds our city accountable when they are not holding up their end of the relationship. I'm not making accusations, I'm not saying somebody's not doing their job, but I'm saying there should be a balancing piece between this group and the city, that we shouldn't just all be hunky-dory in the city's laps, because that throws the balance off, and it maybe doesn't now, but it could affect our effectiveness as a representative group of this community.
In your dealings with the city, my guess is that you have found that there is more to be gained by being collaborative and working in a positive way than working in a negative way. Am I correct in that?
I'm not advocating working in a negative way. I'm saying that
Right.
there have been some words here about really enforcing that relationship, bar none, with the city, and there needs to be a check piece there.
I hear that. And there always has been.
I'm just, I'm supporting both sides.
Well, and working positively often, requires, requiring of the city that serves us all to be responsible. So that can be done in a respectful way. It isn't
Yes,
always
it-
easy, but I think
It
as a
needs to be
citizen, I
done.
would certainly want to have my Beacon Hill area and Southeast Seattle respected
Yes.
at the table and not run over with a lot of plans.
This conversation is really interesting, and I think it's a conversation the board could continue to have. I think that focusing on the motion that was just made about the ballots, and then if there's more discussion about the candidates, we can continue to have that. But I am very mindful of the time, especially as my sitter moments wear down. So on a selfish level, but also being aware of this group and our time. We do have a motion on the floor about the type of ballot, and then if we have more discussion about the candidates, we can have that. But there was a motion and a second for voting by paper, and we could have discussion about the merits of that, I would, if we need to, but I would kind of prefer to just choose how we're going to vote, and then move on to discussion about the candidates if we need to have further discussion, and then vote, if that's acceptable. So if we can have a vote about the type of voting we're going to do, all in favor of the motion on the table to use a secret ballot, please say aye.
I
Aye.
Any say there's one opposition, I would prefer to raise my
Oh,
hand. So two. So Chris,
I would-
No, yeah,
Kathy.
three.
So Kathy,
Not.
Kathy, Eric, and I voted
For?
for using hands, so voted against the motion on the table. The motion has been approved.
I'm abstaining.
Oh, yeah, that's what these two abstain.
Sorry, any abstentions? These are just
Yeah,
method of
both
votes.
candidates abstain.
So the motion has passed. Lee has counted out 13 little squares of paper.
I had the count.
And we had a double count. We had a double count of 13 little pieces of paper. We have a couple of pens on the table. I have a pen. Do you have a pen?
But, Melissa, was there further discussion?
Well,
about
we
the
can have further
candidate?
discussion, but let's make sure everybody is ready to vote. Especially since this is a little more complicated method, let's make sure we have the tools necessary. I would like Lee, since you're handing out the little pieces of paper, can you count them? Can you and Amy do your counting magic after the
Yes.
votes are collected?
Yeah.
Thank you. I don't see any of Angela's pens to steal, so everybody's just gonna have it. So,
Ball
Do
pins.
you need more writing tools?
for
Yeah, you got
now,
one ball pins.
thank you. Is there any more discussion to be had about the two specific candidates? And if you have clarifying questions about how they would work.
There's one pin sitting here.
So is there any
Are new
questions?
board members
Are there any questions for the
voting members?
candidates?
At this
Yeah, because they've all attended meetings. And
I didn't know if there was a difference
Yeah,
between.
No, they're on the board.
they're on the board. So are there any questions for the candidates, or is there any more discussion about the candidates?
Oh, I can do, yeah.
Any further discussion about the two candidates? Last call. Or questions, clarifying questions for the candidates. Okay. So 9:26, if you could write the name of your candidate, please. And fold it. And Lee, how do you want to collect these?
And,
You got like a
I have-
You
potato,
have the box.
How
We put our
appropriate is
names
this?
on it?
you got a potato. That must be your right there.
Write in ballot.
Oh, that's true, you could write in someone else if you want to.
Maybe my-
Feel free.
Someone who's not here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I love you.
They make sure you count the number of ballots, make sure they match the number of board members. 13 minutes.
I've hesitated
Where they actually had.
to write
They
her.
had it signed.
I remember.
I didn't know what.
Hey, at least want to look like hanging chair.
I hope.
And it was really confusing because everyone voted about it. They didn't look at it and then they realized it was the first time they did it. So they looked on the other side and realized that they voted on someone else's ballot and had to cross it off.
I was at a GTDC meeting where it was a vote like on paper and they enumerated vote A, this option B, this option C, this other option. It was totally confusing.
Yes.
And no one knew what they were voting for at the end.
Yes, that was the same vote.
11? So the two people not, oh, the,
Sorry, 11 squares of paper.
okay.
Because two people, we would guess, would probably cancel each other out.
And her
Okay,
son said,
the
"Is
two
there a
candidates.
Jamie in the
I don't think you have to.
Well, I hope I was respectful the way I said what I
So
said.
did you voice stop? And they're not boys.
I just felt like there needed to be the other.
Meetings with that organization.
I could tell, yeah, I just had to offset it.
Oh.
I
Like,
can proudly say I'm the Kimball mom.
Should be 11?
on camera.
14.
And that was for.
Wait.
We have a dead heat.
Wait, how many people are? in
There's
the-
14 of us here.
There's 14 of us here.
Wait,
no, that's not-
There's only 13 board members.
Should be 13 board members.
No, there has to be. It's uneven. It's a good design.
We filled 3 seats
Now we have
for
14
Sean,
board members.
Roger, Ted.
So did you get to
You don't count. Rod,
Okay.
Rod designed it.
No, we filled, those are the 3 seats we filled,
Okay.
the Sean, Roger,
So we
Ted.
had 14 before.
Now we have 14 board members.
Up to 13.
So,
So did we?
I'd like to make a motion that we have co-vice chairs.
I think, I would second that.
I second that.
As long as it's legal in the
I
bylaws.
I was agree on.
Yeah.
Then you got extra backup.
So we have 7 votes for each candidate. Is that, say that to the camera.
Okay. So I heard a motion and a second.
That means they're both so great, we can't.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
both so
Without
great.
them.
Everyone was torn.
It'll be a nice balance.
They're both good candidates.
Is that acceptable to the candidates?
Sure.
Sure. Can you share?
See, teamwork.
Okay. So I have a motion and several seconds to have co-vice chairs. Any discussion?
I think we might need to, we'll have to check, but we may need to update the bylaws.
Yeah, that's why I said
I don't
that.
think
Put that
that's
on
a
the
big
agenda.
deal.
If the bylaws that allow it.
Oh,
Or we can do the
there's a
bylaws.
question.
So it's just starting to feel like we have far more business than we can conduct in an hour after our meeting once a month. I know I hate to raise the threat of more meetings, but it always seems like we're behind, and email just has not worked historically.
Would it have to be more meetings, or could it just be an hour and a half meeting?
I don't know.
I think, so I can't do more meetings. And I think,
I can't either.
so I think
Maybe there could
we
be a time,
I
could
think
there be
we
a
could-
timekeeper at the board meeting.
talk about, well, I think that having a board meeting agenda going in would be good. And then I think that planning to have hour and a half long board meetings is probably, and if we get out early, bonus. But I think just planning on that, because I agree. I think that we're always, we have the housekeeping stuff and then we have the media issues.
We're always in a hurry to get out of here
Yeah.
because we're out of time.
So I think that's a point well made. We still need to vote on the double vice chair, the co-vice chair action. So all in favor of changing the bylaws to indicate that it's acceptable after the fact?
Not required, but acceptable.
And so that's one thing that has to be done. And then otherwise, after that's done, all in favor of having co-vice chairs, Miguel and Myra.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Yes.
Okay, Judith is abstaining.
No, I think.
You guys don't get to abstain because you just agreed to do it.
Well, okay, I'm voting for it.
There you go. Okay, thank you very much, both of you, for agreeing to serve. I think it is very funny, but yeah. Myra's just checking that we have the ballots at 15.
Up to 15.
Lord have mercy, change that in bylaws. It's just a big group of people, we need a bigger room. Okay, we will next month plan on staying, Yun, stay until 10.
So do we have 14 board members?
Well, if you have an agenda, I think it will move along.
Up to 15 is what it
And
says.
I will volunteer to be timekeeper.
Yeah, she's a good timekeeper.
I don't think we can get 14.
Yeah.